No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin' Raw podcast, episode 159. I am your host, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am back, as always, with my co-host, Super Saiyan 2 Black Nappa, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Sweet Tea, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. T Money, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. the HNIC. Sir Cussalott, Travis Pointer.
What's happening?
Why are you doing that?
Why am I doing what?
Why do you have your voice auto-tuned?
I'm just talking here, sir.
Why did you auto-tune your voice, Travis?
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
Are you going to do the whole show like this?
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
So there's no reason for it. It's just something you were able to do, so you decided to do it.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you auto-tune yourself into Sasha's DMs?
Okay, that was fun. Let me see.
Oh, wait, no. Before you do that, we got to talk about some stuff. You hear things you don't expect from the strangest places sometimes.
Okay.
Summer Rae. You remember Summer Rae?
I do remember Summer Rae.
Has come out and commented on a few things related to Jacob Blake, asking if everyone wants peaceful protests, why are they so bothered by the MLB and the NBA sitting out games? I thought that's what you wanted. She also said this is your daily reminder that just because someone is a criminal does not justify them being shot by the police. There's been a lot going on in the Jacob Blake the case. So first and foremost, please, if you guys are going to go and retweet and comment stuff and call people things, go and look up the actual statutes that you're sharing, because someone has photoshopped and is sharing around a video of the accusations made by Mr. Blake's ex-girlfriend. And then there's a statute that's not even from Wisconsin that says that third-degree sexual assault is against a minor. So they've got everyone calling him a pedophile and saying, well, good he got shot because he's a pedophile, blah, 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 blah. But if you actually look up the statute that is listed next to the charge, it just says that it is sexual assault without consent. It does not specify that it is with a minor. Actually, in the state of Wisconsin, second-degree sexual assault, which is just above it, talks about assault against somebody who is under the age of 16. Regardless of those facts, regardless of whether or not he said he had a knife or they found a knife in his car, you are not justified as a police officer to shoot a man who has not attacked you. We don't know if the police saw the knife. There's no body cam footage. The Kenosha cops do not have body cam footage. We do know that a 16-year-old male walked right past cops with an assault rifle out of Kenosha, white man, after shooting two people without being arrested. Didn't get arrested until he got back home to Antioch, Illinois.
Yeah, walking around with a big-ass AR-15. It's not a small
Didn't get shot.
Yeah.
Didn't get shot.
Yeah.
But a man with a knife got shot in the back in front of his children.
Didn't even have the knife. The knife was in the car. He wasn't in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
In the back. 7 times.
Which is excessive.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Whether or not, there were charges filed against him, which doesn't even mean he's guilty. That just means someone called the cops and reported that he did some shit.
Exactly.
He has not been tried. He has not been convicted. He has not been deemed guilty. Even if he was, you are not, as a police officer, justified in shooting a man in the street and executing punishment. He is to be arrested. He is to be sentenced. He is to be given trial by his peers. And then his punishment,
that's what our whole court system is
decided. And this is the problem. This is why we have these discussions. This is what's going on. This is why Travis and I never stopped having this conversation every week. It's because we're skipping due process, and people are saying, well, he was a thug, or have you seen his rap sheet, or he was this or he was that. It doesn't matter. This man actually has 0 charges on his record prior to the charges filed by his ex-girlfriend. He has a clean record. So technically, because he has never been convicted, he is not a criminal. And even if he was, it's not okay for the police to shoot a man in the street, let alone in front of his children. We continue to have these conversations because this continues to happen. As we said, it hasn't stopped. It hasn't gotten better. There's been no legislation passed. Nothing has been done to make this better. And if you have a problem with NBA and MLB players not playing because they want to, fucking Brian Urlacher said Brett Favre played, after his father died, but these MLB players are not playing because a man who was a convicted sexual assaultist or whatever he called him that had a knife got shot by the cops and was like shaming the MLB and NBA players. Listen, we've made it very clear that the police have a job. This is their job. This is how they're supposed to go about it. They're not going about it. That there is no just cause unless he attacks the police, unless he has the knife and he is coming for the police. There is no just cause for them shooting him, let alone shooting him 7 times in the back. You can't say, oh, riots this and riots that, and shame people for protesting and trying to get something done because of the frustration that nothing is being done. And then when they peacefully protest, like a Colin Kaepernick, like the NBA, like the MLB, then get all righteous and say, oh, well, this isn't right. Why are you doing this? And, yes, they're protesting after Jacob Blake, but they're not just protesting for Jacob Blake. They're protesting for Trayvon Martin. They're protesting for Breonna Taylor. They're protesting for every black man and woman or person of color that has been unjustly shot by the police, killed by the police, had their necks stepped on, have been, he's paralyzed, assaulted unjustly by the police. That's why they're doing it. It's not just one person. And it doesn't matter what you think about the person. Facts are facts. This man has not been tried. He has not been convicted. And there was no reason for the cops to shoot him in the back 7 times. I believe Trevor Noah said, if I slam the door 3 times, that's a lot. If I slam the door 4 more times, that's excessive.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. So as always, be safe if you guys are out protesting, because clearly they don't want you protesting. They're trying to shut that shit down, whether it's peaceful or whether it's violent. I don't personally agree with the riots. I understand the need for them. My issue is that there are people that are rioting just to riot, just to destroy shit and steal shit, and they're not out there for the cause. If you can protest, go protest. If you can't protest, if you don't feel safe doing so, I understand that. You guys can, as we said, use your voice like we are. Donate. I was on the Smacked Raw podcast for the post-show for TakeOver, showed that I had purchased the Black Lives Matter shirt, which you guys can get at Matt Ritter. That is at MATTRIDDER. It is my pinned tweet. It was created by the Young Kings Wrestling podcast, and the money for those shirts that are purchased go to Black Lives Matter causes that they have looked up that are putting that money towards making this world a better place. So donate to organizations, donate to businesses, donate to companies that are trying to help this movement and trying to help make this place better, including the Young Kings Wrestling podcast. I bought the shirt because I don't just preach it. I practice what I preach. If I'm going to tell you to buy the shirt, I'm going to go buy the shirt. And I did. It's in the wash right now because I wore it on Saturday. But you guys can go check out their podcast, see that I have it. There's also a picture of me on Twitter in the shirt that I posted and tagged them in. Petitions, sign petitions. It's about to be voting season. Make your voice heard. Go vote people in who have a stance that aligns with your viewpoints.
Definitely not just the presidential race, man.
No,
local elections are so important. So important. That's how you get attorney generals like that motherfucker up there that won't prosecute Breonna Taylor's killers.
Yeah. I am sickened and disgusted, not just by the police, but by the reaction of people and the excuses that they make for the police for doing what they did. Because you know damn well, if it was your brother or your cousin and he got shot in the back in front of his kids, your nieces, your nephews, your second cousins, it was someone in your family, you wouldn't give a shit if, you know, his ex-girlfriend had filed charges against him. You wouldn't care if there was a knife in the car. You would not be okay with this. Just because he's not your family doesn't mean if it didn't happen to you, you'd be okay with it. So don't treat it like it's okay. You got anything you want to add?
No, you said it all, bro.
Because I don't want to come on here and try and speak for people that, you know, obviously I don't know the experience. I'm just speaking from my heart, what I see and what I deal with. I don't want to,
but you know me, and I've told you.
Yeah.
So it's just like you know enough. And the thing is, I can speak about this all day long, but they've stopped listening to me as far as, you know, black people telling people this is what's happening to us.
Yeah.
So there's only so much I can say again and again
Right.
and again.
I want to make it clear. I'm not speaking for Travis. I'm not speaking for black people. I'm not trying to take their voices away. I'm just trying to add to the outcry, the outrage of what's going on. Because it's fucking ridiculous and it's sickening. All right. Let's move on to something a little lighter. Let's get into Sasha's DMs. I know we didn't get hit for Shaggy, so we'll go back to some Shaggy while you're doing that. And
give a little bit of that, a little bit of this, let them know, yeah. Shaggy. Original lover. Catch a groove, girl, catch a groove, that's right. Shaggy. DJ. I would a man allowed to make you moist and wet. I would a man allowed to make you moan. I would a man allowed to make you scream out.
all right, we got two pandas, an adult panda and a baby panda, and that is adorable because in sometime within the next month, that is going to be me and my child.
It sure is.
I appreciate that. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you guys aren't watching the video version, you're only listening to the audio, go watch this specific spot in the podcast because I've got dancing CM Punk to Shaggy.
I'll give you all another reason to watch this particular part of the episode, because something very special happened yesterday. Something very coincidental and wonderful that resulted in something that made me very, very happy.
Are you pregnant? What is that, Travis?
This is a Pornhub shirt. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. So I'm at work. I work at a hotel, if you all don't know. And we have a whole lot of evacuees at the hotel. Well, one such evacuee was someone who worked for Pornhub in some form or fashion. I don't remember exactly what he said. Not in a way that could help us. just so you know, it was not in a way that could benefit us. However, he did have Pornhub merch in his car, and I'm like, yo, let me get a shirt, bro.
I thought you were about to come on here and tell us we were sponsored by Pornhub, and I was about to be able to plug Pornhub as the official sponsor.
That would have been fucking wonderful.
Dude, I was excited.
Whatever, man. You can't just be happy that I got a free Pornhub shirt.
I mean, it does me no good. I'm happy for you, but honestly, you know, you didn't get two and ship one my way, so like.
No, I didn't get two. I just got one.
All right, let's get into notes. Basically, all we got this week is some stuff. I already talked about Summer Rae. We got the shitty. You saw the shitty stuff from the fans in the Thunderdome.
Yeah. Let's move on. They're stupid.
Okay.
People are dumb.
Yeah, we're not going to
assholes. We're not going to give them the time. No.
Karrion
Something to do
Kross.
that had Pikachu because that was fucking dope. But other than that,
Speaking of Pikachu, I'll plug it real quick because I really don't have a whole lot for news and rumors. I am going to be doing a podcast with SES Vince for his Straight Talk podcast. It is a side project that he has. And Rob, who was also from the Smack Raw podcast, we have each been given or chosen 4 Pokemon types. Then we have each picked 4 wrestlers to represent those types and built teams. We're going to discuss those teams, let you guys vote on them, and then rank them as a gym in a region.
I'm about to say, yeah, so gym leader kind of shit. Okay, got you.
Yeah, so total 12, 8 gyms, 4 Elite Four. It's going to be a podcast coming out. Look for it. It is a Pokemon wrestling podcast. I'm not going to get into too much more. I probably said too much already, but I have a bad habit of doing that.
Wait. So it's not just this particular episode that's Pokemon and wrestling. It's every episode?
No. It's this particular and then maybe a secondary episode depending on how well it does. But Vince also did an episode with RN that should be coming out soon where they talk about, the NBA and them not playing due to the Jacob and other things. He's doing other side projects that are kind of wrestling related, but not necessarily Smack Raw podcast centric or just his other interests. So go check out Vince's Straight Talk podcast. You can get it anywhere that you guys find our podcast or any other podcast. And it's on YouTube as well. So go check that out.
That's dope.
All right, Travis, I've actually got some stuff I'm going to show you after the podcast. If you make it so I can share pictures when we're done recording, I'll send you some stuff that I made up.
Okay.
Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or AEW?
There was AEW? I thought there was no AEW.
Thursday. It was on Thursday. It was yesterday.
Oh, well, fuck. I didn't know that. I went to look on Thursday morning to watch it on the app, and it wasn't there. I'm like, I guess they're not on again this week.
No, they were on They're on Thursday from here on out. And NXT's on Tuesday next week.
Wait. So from now on, AEW's on Thursday?
No, just during the NBA finals.
Okay, just during the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
And NXT is on Tuesday?
Next week.
Just next
Super
week.
Tuesday, just next week.
Okay. Yeah, I swear. I thought there was no AEW.
Let's talk about AEW then, because I'm going to start calling it ATW because it's all tag wrestling. That's all this fucking show is tag wrestling.
Seriously? Again?
Just about. So we kicked it off with the tag. Travis, now listen. They told us we had rankings, right?
Yeah, they did.
My understanding is when someone's ranked number 1 and it's time for a title shot, the number 1 team gets the title shot.
That's right.
You're ranked number 1. What we did this week was we had a gauntlet match featuring the top 4 ranked tag teams. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4 fought each other. The winner of that fought rank 2, and the winner of that fought rank 1. And then the winner of that gauntlet faces the tag team champions at All Out.
That's so extra.
Yeah, I agree. So, just like this voice changer that you're doing. So extra.
I do what I want.
So, it's the Young Bucks and it's the Natural Nightmares, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. The Young Bucks win. They then face the Best Friends. Hangman Adam Page comes out and costs the Young Bucks the match, letting the Best Friends move on. The Best Friends are now with Tully and the Best Friends are now facing FTR. FTR is with Tully. Tully and FTR.
The Best Friends are with Tully? What did I miss? Okay, no. Okay, gotcha.
FTR and Tully defeat the Best Friends. So the number 1 ranked tag team, who was number 1 before the gauntlet started, is going to get the tag team title match against Omega and Page at All Out.
Oh, like it should have been in the first place?
Exactly. And I ask questions and people try to give me answers. I'm like, no, here's my thing. If you guys have a tied record, I understand it. Let's have a gauntlet to decide who gets the match. But if you guys are going to have rankings, build a story and give guys wins to build them up so that they're ranked number 1 when it's time for a fucking match. When All Out's coming up, make sure that the team that you want is number 1 and that you've built them up in the weeks prior to be the number 1 ranked team. So that way there's a reason why they have the match and why you can talk about, this is the number 1 ranked team.
Makes too much sense, Matt. Why would they do that?
I don't fucking know. Then after that, we had Lance Archer.
It's right up there with, you saying somebody's getting their singles push and then you put them in a 6-man tag. Anyway, go ahead. What'd you
say? Lance Archer beats some dude, and then Jake cuts a promo. Taz comes out. There's an awkward back and forth, but basically Taz is saying that Ricky Starks and Brian Cage, one of those two are going to win their Casino Battle Royal. Jake's saying that Lance Archer is going to beat it. Darby Allin shows up, skates down to the ring, and attacks Ricky Starks and knocks him out of his shoes. They brawl, all to kind of set up some anticipation for the Casino Battle Royal at All Out. Go ahead.
Why do I care?
Why do you care? The winner gets a title shot.
Oh, see, I missed that part. Okay.
Then we got a contract signing between the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida and the NWA Champion Thunder Rosa, which is actually really cool that AEW is working with NWA, especially since NWA is not putting on shows right now. So their women's champion versus AEW's women's champion for the AEW women's title. Very interesting. The cross promotion stuff, very interesting and cool.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that.
Then we got MJF and John Moxley doing a contract signing. So the Hikaru Shida stuff was like backstage. There was a women brand representative who was there when they signed the contract and did their little stare down. Now we're in ring with Moxley and MJF. MJF has his entire campaign team and his lawyer with him. Moxley's by himself. MJF cuts a huge promo basically saying why the paradigm shift is going to be banned for this match and needs to be banned. So John Moxley can't use the paradigm shift. John agrees. He signs the contract and says, listen, you think – go ahead.
Why would he agree to that?
Well, I'm about to tell you. John's like, you think you're pigeonholing me by taking away the paradigm shift, saying it's all I've got. All you're doing is forcing me to get creative. And the one thing about AEW is I get to be creative. So
That's
now I get to find a creative way to beat you.
Fun. They got a chance to throw a shot at WWE again. Gotcha.
Yes and no. It didn't really come off like that until I said it backwards, but it wasn't really presented that way.
Okay.
What they didn't realize was the contract that both MJF and John Moxley signed. John had a clause added to it that the lawyer who was running his mouth and yelling at John Moxley and threatening to sue him if he did anything has a match next week against John Moxley. So Moxley gets a tune-up match before the title match.
Nice.
The paradigm shift is not banned. So this guy who's yelling at Moxley, sit down. If you get up, I'm going to sue you. If you attack him, I'm going to sue you. If you don't sign this contract, I'll sue you into oblivion. Just running his mouth, getting all extra. Yeah, now he's got to face Moxley next week. And they already signed the contract.
I like that.
Then we got Eddie Kingston's team. It's an 8-man tag. So last week, Eddie Kingston formed a faction featuring the Lucha Bros and the Botcher and the Bland. Shout out
Eddie
to
Kingston is that indie dude, right?
Yeah, now he's AEW. He also had a No Lives Matter Till Black Lives Matter shirt on during this segment.
No.
They defeat Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, Brian Pillman Jr., and Griff Garrison.
Who's Griff Garrison?
He had a match against Jericho, I think. Jericho was talking shit about his name. He almost beat Jericho. He's just another young guy that they're kind of mixing in.
Okay.
Team Kingston wins that. Then we got the TNT title celebration. So basically, the Dark Order comes out with their new champion, Brody Lee. They carry a casket out because not only is it a celebration, but it's a funeral for Cody. Inside the casket is one of the Dark Order members with a jacket, Cody's jacket over his face, and a neck tattoo, so it looks like Cody.
Right.
He gets up. They do the whole thing. You got Tony Schiavone in there interviewing him. Brody Lee's going off about stuff. He ends up punching one of the Dark Order members in the face. They kind of present Anna Jay in a new light, where before Brody was kind of keeping her and Colt Cabana away from all of this seedy, shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's like the queen of the Dark Order and Brody's right-hand woman, and she's a Jezebel, and she slaps somebody, and like it's a whole thing. She slapped Dustin Rhodes because Dustin came down with QT Marshall to try and break it up to get revenge for what happened to Cody, because nobody knows where Cody is. Nobody's heard from Cody since he lost.
Wait, revenge for what happened to Cody? Like, what did he get cheated? What happened?
Well, he got beat, and then at the end of the match last week, as they were carting him out on a stretcher, they knocked him off the stretcher and beat the shit out of him.
Oh, I didn't watch. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, we talked about it.
No, we didn't.
Scorpio.
That was on Saturday.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh yeah, New TNT champion, Brody Lee.
I mean, I heard that happen. Yeah.
Dominated Cody. Just crushed him.
For real?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Just crushed Cody. And then as Cody's getting carted out, beats the shit out of him. So that's why they had the funeral. Dustin and QT Marshall come down, even though they had a match to try and get some revenge. Dark Order's numbers are too many. Scorpio Sky comes out, kind of clears out the lesser people as Brody Lee's getting out of the ring. He gets overtaken. And then here comes Matt Cardona, or as you know him, Zack Ryder. And Zack Ryder cleans house and helps everyone out, getting rid of the Dark Order. And then we cut to a hotel room, and the Young Bucks confront Adam Page and say, "You've been asking for this. You're out of the Elite." And they kicked Adam Page out of the Elite for screwing them over out of the tag team title gauntlet match, or tag team number one contender gauntlet match. So Page is out, and as they slam the door, the mirror cracks, and the last picture they leave you is Adam Page looking in the mirror on the door, all broken. Very interesting picture. Then we have the worst fucking, oh my God. It's Big Swole, and it's supposed to be Big Swole versus Rebel, Penelope Ford, and Britt Baker. Britt Baker, mind you, is still in a wheelchair. It's a 3-on-1 handicap match.
Okay.
And Britt's talking so much shit because she thinks, 3-on-1, these two girls are going to beat Big Swole. She tells Swole, if you win, you can have me in any match you want 1-on-1. But that isn't going to happen. Big Swole
of
wins.
Course, yeah.
Dude, it was terrible. It was a god-awful.
Really?
Just, I know Rebel used to wrestle. Does makeup now. She wrestled for TNA for a little while.
Everybody wrestled for TNA. I wrestled for TNA.
Penelope Ford looked good against Hikaru Shida, but that was about it because Shida. But
My
this
dog
match
had a match with them 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Then we have Anna Jay offering Tay Conti, her tag team partner, Tainara Conti from NXT, who joined AEW for the women's tag team tournament, a contract to join the Dark Order because they became friends during the YouTube matches for this tag team women's
You're
tournament.
giving me a whole bunch of nonsense right now that I just am not following and don't care about.
Last but not least, Matt Hardy loses to Sammy Guevara in a tables match that was set up by Matt Hardy. And then Orange Cassidy comes out of nowhere and attacks Jericho, who spent all night on commentary. And they brawl, and Cassidy's beating.
Oh, we
the
got
shit out of
another night of Jericho on commentary? I'm kind of
Yes.
sad I missed it. Kind of. Not really.
We go off air with Orange Cassidy just beating down on Jericho.
Okay.
You know, do you know about the Mimosa match?
No, there was a mimosa match?
There's going to be it all out. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And the ring is going to be surrounded by tanks of mimosa.
Tanks of mimosa.
That's what they said.
Now, if I watch this, I'm not going to. Now, but if I watch this and it's just a couple of kegs out there, I'm going to be pissed. Not really, because I'm not going to watch it. I don't care that much. But still, if you're going to say that, you know, I want tanks. You want me to care about your product and give a shit and watch your shit. Deliver on what you promise.
I'm going to gargle undecidedly because Hangman Page getting kicked out of the Elite was really cool. The MJF mock stuff was fun. Sheeta Thunder Rosa is cool. The rest kind of left me wanting, other than, you know, Jericho getting jumped by Orange Cassidy. So there was about 50-50 good to bad, so I'm gargling undecidedly on this shit.
I feel you on that.
You want to go Raw, SmackDown, or NXT?
Let's go SmackDown.
So we start off the night with Adam Pearce talking to security, warning us about Retribution, saying keep your eye out for Retribution, don't let Retribution in the building. Then he talks to Vince, and we get a very interesting conversation where Vince gives Adam Pearce a mission, and his mission is to get 3 signatures: The Fiend, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns. And he said, you should probably start with The Fiend. And he's like, is he here? And he goes, well, look for Bray Wyatt. And if you can't find him, maybe try the Firefly Funhouse. And then says, you might need this, and hands him a jacket. Now, I'm thinking this man just signed Adam Pearce's death warrant and handed him a tux for his funeral, right?
Sounds like it.
That's not what happened. So Adam Pearce has this mission to get 3 signatures. Then we cut to the ring. Jeff Hardy's out there getting ready to make an open challenge. He gets cut off by AJ Styles. Thank God, because Jeff Hardy can't cut a promo to save his goddamn life. Not that AJ is much better, but it's still better than Jeff. AJ cuts a mediocre at best promo about how Jeff Hardy rigged the system to get the win, to beat him. And now Jeff's like, all right, well, I was getting ready to open an open challenge. The problem is it's an open challenge to everyone but you. AJ's mad, goes sit at commentary. Shinsuke comes out. AJ versus Shinsuke, Intercontinental title, open challenge. Jeff Hardy beats Shinsuke. AJ, does his shit. But as Jeff Hardy climbs the rampway, Sami Zayn's music hits, and he returns, and Sami Zayn still has his Intercontinental title. So all of you bitches who went on the internet and whined and cried about, they let the Cruiserweight champion keep his title and it's interim, but now that you got rid of Sami Zayn, they're just stripping him of his title because he chose to stay home because of COVID, and they're punishing him, and blah, 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 blah. Can shut the fuck up and apologize for your bullshit, because he still has his belt. He's still calling himself champ. He's still going to get some shit with Jeff Hardy, title versus title, IC title versus IC title.
Ladder match.
Cut your shit.
Ladder match.
It needs to be a ladder match.
They've done it before. Do it again. This is very familiar to me.
Listen,
give me the ladder match. Do it.
I did unpopular wrestling opinions on Tuesday night for the SmackDown podcast.
Did you?
Apparently, I was extremely entertaining during that show. So if you get a chance, you should listen to it when it drops. I think it'll be probably next Thursday.
Yeah, you are very entertaining when you don't have to be the responsible adult in the room.
But I'm still fired up from that. I was yelling at people left and right. I was starting shit. I even argued that Jinder Mahal was a good champion. Like, there was some crazy shit going on, Travis.
Might have to hop on that one day.
You really should. I can talk to Kyle and get you.
I got a bit more time these days, so like in the next few weeks, if they're gonna do it, it needs to be within the next few weeks.
I'll talk to Kyle and see if we can get you on the next one. I'll let him know you're available. So Sammy's back. Then we get our Firefly Funhouse. We got Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse. He's got his Universal title. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. My Bray Wyatt is now a one-time WWE and two-time Universal champion. And saying that just makes me so happy, because there was a point in time where I thought I'd never see Bray Wyatt hold the championship like that again. Now he's been Universal champ twice.
Yes. Until Goldberg comes back.
Fuck you, Travis. We find out that the suit that Vince gave Pierce was a postman suit, and we are introduced to Postman Pierce, who is delivering the contract for Bray to sign.
Yeah. Continue the spoof on Mr. Rogers. I like that.
Yes. Bray goes, well, how can I sign it? And he goes, well, I just kind of thought that you and the Fiend, had a connection. And Bray stares off into space, and we get flashes of the Fiend. Then he snaps back, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll sign it. And he signs it, and Mr. Pierce goes about his business. Really fun segment. I love the Firefly Funhouse stuff.
Yeah, it's always good.
This was a cool way to do it. Dude, fuck you. Then we get Matt Riddle in the ring, calling out Baron Corbin. He gets
This is my new favorite thing, if you didn't know.
Yeah, no, I know. You kind of sound like James Earl Jones on auto-tune.
The best thing about this is, I turned it off so I can't hear myself, because if I can hear myself, I'll fuck myself up. So I have no idea what this sounds like right now, and I love it.
Yeah. So Riddle,
but you know what it sounds like.
Corbin accepts on behalf of Gable, who attacks Riddle from behind. Riddle defeats Gable. Corbin comes in to attack Riddle and then ends up getting run off because Riddle wasn't as beat up as he thought he was. Then we get shown
hashtag Riddle over Riddle.
Hashtag Riddle over Riddle. Then we get a backstage segment where Big E. So Big E went on Talking Smack and spread his legs on the table and said, listen, Kofi ain't going to say it, but I'll say it. It's fucked up that Kofi didn't get his rematch, that they did him like that and he didn't even get a rematch. And then The Miz, and I don't know if this is in character or not in character, pulled some basic, dumb, white privilege bullshit on the, if you work hard enough and if you work hard, you'll get back to the top. I was there. I know what it's like. I had the WWE Championship and lost it, and I had to work my ass off to stay relevant. And then Big E's like, yeah, but it did take you 11 years to just get that one shot. You know, Big E was definitely pushing that button on the Miz. So Big E is doing either an Instagram live or something where he's talking to the people saying, hey, I don't want to be on Miz TV. I'm contractually obligated, blah, 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 blah. Miz and Morrison show up and say, what are you saying? You talking shit? And he goes, yeah, I don't want to be on your show. And then Sheamus shows up, and then Heavy Machinery backs up Big E.
Why is Sheamus there? I still don't understand the Sheamus part.
Because you don't get any whiter than Sheamus.
Touche.
So then we're backstage with Big E and Otis and Tucker. And Otis has a box of meat. He's got some hard salami that Big E's like, get that away from my face.
He was waving and shit. Oh, it was so good. It's one of those things like, yo, hey, create your world. Smackin' the Raw podcast in particular. Give us a segment.
Yeah. So then Bailey and Sasha come up and ask them if they're playing with their meat.
100% written by us.
Then Bailey, who has Sasha standing to her left next to Big E, says some people just can't be tag team and WWE champions.
I loved this segment so much, Matt.
And the look on Sasha's face.
Woo! You ever know you've met African American women before? You know they are not always capable of what we like to call fixing your face.
Met them, dated them, yes.
Yeah. And that face, that was one of those moments like, fix your face, girl. Fix your face.
Well, RN shared a meme on the Mean Jelly Beans where on the Mean Jelly Bean meme page on Facebook where it was something along the lines of like when you make an expression, you're like, oh, did my face say that out loud?
Yeah.
So here's
a lot of that happening. See, I know you don't care, but there's a lot of that happening on Big Brother right now. There's this particular person in there who I got to tell, like in my head, I'm like, yo, fix your face, girl. Fix your face.
So what I loved most about this segment is this literally was the Smackin' the Raw segment, because not only did we have the, are you guys playing with your meat and all that, but literally I have been saying for over a year now that they are cock teasing me with the Sasha and Bailey breakup. And then visually I saw Otis waving a hard salami in Big E's face before they gave me more cock teasing for the Sasha and Bailey breakup. Travis, they're just directly fucking with me now. They're like, we're even going to do it right in front of your face. Here, we're going to wave the salami around. Bro.
Hashtag riddle over riddle.
Bailey and Sasha then come out and cut a promo where they're, you know, again, more teasing of sorry that you don't have the title anymore. We've got to defend these titles. Nia Jax and Shayna come up on Titantron talking about how they're going to win at Payback because, you know, we just had a pay-per-view Sunday and now we're having another pay-per-view on Sunday, tag team title match. And we're talking about how Sasha needs this win because she just lost the Raw titles. She can't lose her tag team title too. We all know where this is going. I don't know when we're going to get it, but this is leading at some point to Sasha versus Bailey. They might stretch this all the way out to WrestleMania and have Sasha win the Royal Rumble and pull a Batista Triple H.
How long are you going to keep banging on this drum? So they just, you know, honestly, if I was in charge, just knowing that you want this so bad, I would never let it happen.
I know you wouldn't.
They break up and make right back up again, like they always do.
Then we got Drew Gulak looking for Braun backstage. He comes across Adam Pearce. Gulak is told by Adam, hey, you know, stay out of the way. I got to find Braun, get him to sign this. Gulak sees Braun, hits Braun in the back with the chair, then throws the chair to Adam Pearce and gets the fuck out of there. Braun turns around. Adam's like, hey, listen, it was Gulak that did it. I just need you to sign this contract. And Braun says, fine. Give me a match against Gulak, and I'll sign the contract. Gulak gets smashed by Braun Strowman, signs the contract. Now we've got two signatures.
Holy fuck.
Are we sponsored by Pornhub?
No. Hold on.
Do we get a sponsorship?
No. Keep talking. I need to look something up right now. Hold on. Keep going.
Okay. Then we got a backstage segment with Sami Zayn where he is all happy to see his former friends, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. And I stress the word former because Shinsuke and Cesaro were like, where the fuck have you been?
Holy shit, bruh.
Someone die?
Yeah.
Who?
Chadwick Boseman.
What?
Holy shit.
Wait. Did it say how?
Cancer. Yeah, colon cancer.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
We're gonna take a second here.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, I just got a text from my sister telling me that. I'm like, hold on. Like, that's why I said, hold on, I need to look this up. Cause like, holy shit.
Well,
Damn. Oh my God.
I don't know how we
Me neither, man. But it was fuck.
rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, man.
If you guys aren't familiar with that name, I guess the biggest thing I could tell you is obviously he was Black Panther. He was T'Challa.
Yeah.
Um,
Also played Jackie Robinson.
correct.
But yeah, fuck.
Thurgood Marshall and Marshall, James Brown and Get On Up.
Yeah, Get On Up. I saw that. Yeah, that one too. Fuck. All right, I'm sorry. Let's get on with the show, man. I'm sorry, but I was just
that fucked me up. But yeah, Sammy basically got shunned by Shinsuke and Cesaro. They're like, hey, this is a team meeting. Got to get out because you're not part of the team. He wanted to be there. He wanted to drop his title off, be part of the group again. He's talking about how they're artists, and they're like, nah, man, like we did this without you, and we don't need you. Then we got the Lucha House Party. They get jumped again before the singles match where Cesaro defeats Kalisto. Lucha House Party and Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik come down, causing the distraction that leads to Kalisto getting rolled up. More Lucha House Party problems that nobody cares about.
yeah. So when we can just skip to the part where we have a triple threat luchador match. Like, just go ahead and do that. We know that's what you're doing, so just do it.
Then one of the more interesting segments of the night, we got Nikki Cross backstage with an Alexa Bliss mug. Tamina comes up and says, hey, how's Alexa doing? And as Nikki's trying to explain, and talks about how, this is the mug that she got from Alexa, the very first gift Alexa got her. Alexa shows up and she's happy. She's in a good mood. And she's got a dread in her hair.
One dread.
And Nikki notices it and she's like, hey, what's up with this? And she goes, oh, I thought about trying a new thing. I thought maybe I do like half dreads, half regular hair, this and that. And Nikki points out like, hey, that's kind of the Fiend's thing. Like, what's going on here? And Alexa loses her shit and says, I thought you could just be happy for me, but I guess fuck friendship, and takes the mug and smashes it on the floor as she walks off frame.
Yep. Here we go.
Alexa's a great fucking actress. Like, she does.
Harley
really
Quinn's
good at all
coming.
this shit. Then we got the 6-man tag team match. Good guys win. Sheamus leaves during the match because he's frustrated. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Sheamus.
I was wondering I don't know either.
Not important. What's important? We sign off with Adam Pearce in Roman Reigns' locker room. Roman was looking over the contract.
Are we just gonna skip over the fact that Big E's getting the singles push, but they put him in another trip, 6-man tag? Just
we can talk about it.
Just how they like made a point how the Miz was making fun of him, like, oh, you can only do shit in the trio, and they put him in a trio.
Yeah.
To prove him wrong, they put him in a trio because that made sense.
He did hit the big ending on the Miz though, and got the win with it.
Yeah, in a match with a trio.
True.
It's annoying.
He's also beaten the Miz and Morrison in singles matches, though, hasn't he?
One of them. I don't know about both.
I think he beat both of them.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is in the locker room, backstage, looking over the contract, and he's like, you know what? I'll be at Payback. I'll be in the match, and I'm going to go in there. I'm going to wreck everyone and leave.
Make these changes that I told you.
Yep. Walk out as Universal Champion. And that's not a spoiler. That's a prediction. Or that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. And as we pan away, motherfucking Paul Heyman is sitting next to Roman Reigns as Roman Reigns advocate.
Yes.
And everyone who said Roman Reigns did not go heel. He's healed now, motherfuckers. Roman is healed.
Bro, I was so happy. I'm like, yes, this is what you needed. You needed this.
And the fucked up thing is, everyone's going to be so hyped for him, he might as well be a babyface. Like, they finally pushed him heel, and everyone's going to be so happy about it, he might as well be a babyface.
Luckily, there's no live crowd in there, though. So,
yeah.
They can.
They would have exploded when they saw Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
Based on Roman and Paul Heyman together alone, I'm swallowing this, Travis.
Swallow that shit.
Based on that one thing alone, I'm swallowing it.
As irritated as I was by the Big E thing, I will swallow this shit because of that Paul Heyman Roman Reigns thing. Roman Reigns is a Paul Heyman guy.
And don't get me wrong, like, there hasn't been a whole lot of success for Paul Heyman guys outside of Brock Lesnar.
I mean, CM Punk was reigning world champ for quite a while.
Not while he was a Paul Heyman guy, though.
He was a Paul
Curtis
Heyman
Axel
guy.
was also a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah, that don't count, though. Like, CM Punk was a Paul Heyman guy before they made him a Paul Heyman guy on TV, though.
Right. No, I understand that. But, I mean, the Paul Heyman guy gimmick, I mean, he went up against The Undertaker and lost at WrestleMania when he was a Paul Heyman guy.
Well, most people did.
Yeah.
Except Roman Reigns.
And Brock Lesnar.
Who are both Paul Heyman guys.
I've just realized that Paul Heyman is my least favorite person in the world right now.
Oh man. Yeah. NXT.
NXT. All right. We kick it off with Karrion Kross relinquishing his NXT title because he said they're not going to let him compete because during his match against Keith Lee, he separated his shoulder, very similar to what happened with Finn Balor when Finn Balor won the Universal title. And I took some issue with this because I found out Saturday on our post show from Reek over at Young Kings Wrestling, who was in the chat when we were live on Twitch, that they knew that Karrion Kross may have a separated shoulder and he was going in for an MRI. So Saturday night after the match, they knew that there might be a problem with Karrion Kross. Yet they still decided to do what they did to Keith Lee on Raw, which we'll get into when we get to Raw, and bring him up instead of leaving him down there, which I think would have been the smarter decision because NXT needs Keith Lee more than Raw does now that your champion is injured. They could have made an audible, and they didn't, and waited on that call-up.
That's not even the issue I have. I don't like it, but that's not the issue I have. My issue is the way they chose to go about him relinquishing the title.
Oh, boy.
Because my thing is, you've created all this mystique behind Karrion Kross.
You've been listening to Busted Open, haven't you?
No, I've never listened to an episode of Busted Open.
Oh, okay.
But they've created all this mystique around Karrion Kross. And now like, oh, I got hurt in my match. I got to get the title up. Nah. What you should have done, because you had time. This happened Saturday. All right. So you had time. You give him one of those, pre-recorded, produced segments. Hide the sling and shit. He's not hurt. You hide that. You basically do something to the effect where he's just like, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and have him just walk away because fuck you. Like, you keep that mystique. Like, you don't let him show himself as being vulnerable. He's like, he separated his shoulder, now he's out, so he's human now. Like, it's just like, you spent all this time making him more than that. You just took that away.
Well, Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca said that it felt like a babyface was relinquishing the title, the way they went about him saying that they're not going to let me compete. He didn't really fight it. And then they put the title down with the hourglass, which I thought all was cool. I liked the hourglass with the title and the
They
I
could
will
have
be
done
back.
all that and that produced backstage segment kind of shit.
And made it so like his thing was he'd wait till there was a champion. He just comes back and keeps wrecking the champions.
Yeah, something like that. Something that didn't have him saying, hey, I got hurt. I can't do this anymore. Well, I can't do this right now. Like, you made him seem vulnerable when you were trying to make him be this different kind of supernatural kind of thing, you know?
Yep. NXT's in all sorts of flux right now. Everything's up in the air. We got a new North American champion on Saturday at NXT TakeOver 30 in Damian Priest. The very first segment of NXT this week, because we were told that NXT UK will be returning in September, Imperium loses the tag team titles to Breezango. Travis, these are the first championships that Tyler Breeze and Fandango have ever held in the WWE.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me with Breeze, but kind of surprised me with Fandango.
Very first titles is what they said on commentary. I didn't fact check that, but I can't remember Fandango holding the title.
Yeah.
Then we have the return of Tommaso Ciampa.
That was interesting.
He just destroys Jake Atlas.
Yeah, that was kind of lackluster, but I understand.
Headbutts him in the mouth. And then after the match, the refs are trying to stop him. He's grabbing shit from under the ring.
You got to believe his return was supposed to be to go up against Karrion Kross.
Probably.
Yeah.
Heel Ciampa's back.
Yeah, he was just wrecked him. Just like, stop it. He's already dead.
And then we got this. Did you see the backstage segment with Thatcher and Reed?
No.
All right. Did you see Shotzi Blackheart?
Nope.
God fucking damn it, Travis.
What you goddamn it in me for? I didn't decide what went on Hulu.
God damn it, Hulu put Shotzi Blackheart on. The fuck? It's announced next week on Super Tuesday, NXT Super Tuesday. We're going to have a fatal four-way match. You saw this announcement, correct? From William Regal? Fatal four-way match. Four of the greatest NXT champions of all time. The longest reigning NXT champion, Adam Cole. The first ever two-time NXT champion, Finn Balor. Johnny Gargano, the NXT Grand Slam champion. And Tommaso Ciampa, the baddest man in NXT. In a fatal four-way, winner is your new champion. They're probably not going to do it, but I need Ciampa to get Goldie back, Travis. I need heel Ciampa with Goldie again. I'd love to see Finn Balor actually do something since they brought him down to NXT and win that title, but also I want Ciampa and Goldie back.
It's also an Iron Man match, correct?
It is a 60-minute Iron Man fatal four-way match.
I've never seen that before.
Nobody's ever seen that before, but I am fucking stoked for next week.
I'm definitely looking forward to it as well.
We got Phantasma defeating Swerve to retain his NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Swerve.
Headbutt Swerve after putting a luchador mask on, which was interesting because the headbutt laid him out. So they didn't show if there was anything in that luchador mask.
Yeah, but they indicated it because they had him like touch it and like make sure it was lined up and shit and all that before he got up to headbutt him. So
I have never seen a loaded luchador mask before.
Me neither.
This is a thing that they're gonna do where he puts on a luchador mask and it's got like a metal plate or something in the forehead and he's laying. I'm in. That's interesting.
I'm with it.
That's cool shit.
That's right up there with William Regal's Power of the Punch.
Mm-hmm. And they've been doing a great job with Legado del Fantasma and keeping us entertained. They're what Lucha House Party will never be. Fucking Vince and RN were talking about they think Kalisto should break up with Lucha House Party, go down to NXT, and join Legado del Fantasma. And I said no. No. Don't make him leave a shitty group to go join this group and possibly also not be used. Let that man break off on his own, try and be his own Rey Mysterio, do something with him,
He
but
won't,
don't do that.
but he let him try.
Let him try.
It's I can see why they would want that, but he'd have to take his mask off.
Yep. Then we got Kyle O'Reilly defeating Drake Maverick, and then the Undisputed Era beats down Drake Maverick. O'Reilly and Fish do. Killian Dane runs down, runs them off, and then Drake Maverick gets up and Killian attacks him.
I was kind of glad this match happened because for like a week.
You saw that?
Yeah. For like a week, at least a week, I'm like, okay, so Undisputed Era, there's Adam Cole, there's Roderick Strong, there's Bobby Fish. Who the fuck is the other dude? Like, I couldn't remember for the longest time who the other motherfucker was. But he had the matches. I'm like, okay.
You saw Phantasma.
Mm-hmm.
You saw O'Reilly.
Yep.
You saw Ciampa versus Atlas.
Yes.
You saw Breezango for the tag titles.
Yes.
And you saw Karrion Kross.
Yes.
And you saw the main event, Io and Rhea losing to Giant Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, or Queen Kai, as I'm going to call her now.
I like Queen Kai. Yes, I saw that also.
So what the fuck did they cut from the show other than Shotzi Blackheart, which doesn't knock you down to an hour? That match wasn't that long.
Yeah, but you know how they do. A lot of times they just cut matches. Like
literally,
matches
all
down.
they cut from the fucking show was a backstage segment and fucking Shotzi Blackheart.
And then they edited down the other matches, yeah.
Io and Rhea lose to Giant Gonzalez and Queen Kai. I'm really surprised they did that. I'm intrigued by a Rhea Ripley Giant Gonzalez feud.
Oh no, it'd probably be Mercedes Martinez, wouldn't it? Because she like cost him.
She did come down and attack Rhea Ripley and help in that win for Queen Kai and Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah.
All right, not good enough for Hulu Monday Night Raw edition.
That's so funny.
Or I'm sorry, NXT edition. You got Bronson Reed talking about how he wants a shot at Damian Priest. Timothy Thatcher comes up and implies that he does. They kind of go back and forth. And then as Thatcher leaves, out of nowhere, Austin Theory is now back on NXT.
Oh?
And he confronts Bronson Reed and ends up getting slapped by Bronson Reed. I don't know why I said Bronson so weird there, Bronson. Saying that, he also wants to be in the mix. So now everyone's all up in a tizzy because you've got Velveteen Dream and the hashtag Fire Dream and all that bullshit going on, which, by the way, shout out to the Deadass Girls. If you guys haven't listened to their newest episode, go listen to it because they expressed my exact feelings about this situation on their show. We're not going to get too deep into it, but if you want to know how I feel about the Velveteen Dream thing, go listen to their episode. They talked about it, and I agree with them. But Austin Theory also had some allegations right when he got taken off TV. Now he's back. So now they're like, oh, NXT's the pedo show where they send all the pedos, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
We're not getting into it. I'm not
either. That's why I just said okay.
And fucking Mia Yim is in the ring. Robert Stone comes out with Aaliyah. Shotzi Blackheart runs him over with the fucking tank. He just posted on social media about how many days he has gone without being run over with a tank. Shotzi then replied and said, we'll fix that. And she does it. Has a match. Shotzi defeats Mia Yim and ran Robert Stone over with a fucking tank. And they didn't put it on the show.
If you say so.
Not good enough for Hulu. Austin Theory's returned to NXT, being booted off Monday Night Raw. And Shotzi Blackheart committing vehicular assault with a toy tank and defeating Mia Yim.
If you say so.
There was also some stuff about Candice LeRae and Tegan Knox, which it's just promo stuff about their friendship and their feud, and it really wasn't that important. I'm not that into it. So NXT, spit or swallow.
Yeah, nothing really did it for me on NXT this week. I'm gonna spit it.
I'm swallowing. I was happy to see Ciampa return, even though if it wasn't in the grand fashion that I wanted. I personally enjoyed the Karrion Kross stuff in the ring. I love the announcement and the way they did the announcement for the big match next week. And I enjoyed the tag team match at the end. And I got to see Shotzi run a dude over with the tank. And that always does it for me. And Phantasma Swerve was a great match with the cool little luchador mask thing. So I'm swallowing NXT. All right, Monday Night Raw. Are you going to go on a rant?
Possible.
because I planned on going on a rant, and then I decided not to, at the wishes of the man that I was going to rant about. So I'm sorry, Wreak Havoc. If you wanted me to go on a rant, you will not be getting a rant because, well, we'll talk about it. So Drew comes out, talks shit about Randy Orton, offers him a rematch so he can kick his head off one more time because he's like, I know you're not done with me even though I beat you. Randy then attacks Drew on the ramp. They go into Gorilla. Randy delivers 2 punt kicks in Gorilla, one of which barely connects.
Whatever.
People are all like, oh, they're nerfing the punt kick now because Drew McIntyre had to take 2 and still got up from it and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, Edge took 1 and Christian only took 1 and Big Show. I'm like, they're also like 90 fucking years old. Like, he's kicking legends in the head. I get
Legends,
it.
old.
Shawn Michaels fucked it up. Shawn Michaels should have laid out. Shawn Michaels should not have got up and sat in the corner. I will not argue that. Drew McIntyre, as your WWE champion, should be more sustainable to a kick to the head than Big Show or Christian or Edge or Shawn Michaels.
100%.
Especially when he hasn't wrestled the match or done anything but get jumped on the rampway. The fight in the Gorilla was cool. Then we got Shayna defeating Bayley by DQ because Nia comes down and attacks. They're brawling. Sasha and Bayley are laughing, and that's when the two come together and turn and look at the champs. And now apparently this feud has turned into a friendship, and they're going to be a tag team, and they're going to have a tag team title match against Sasha and Bayley at Payback. And this is the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Did you see Kevin Owens in the KO show?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So Kevin is walking around in the back looking for Aleister Black, goes and knocks on his door, opens it up. The room's all dark. He goes, oh, hey, there you are. Well, I'm going to go to the ring now for the Kevin Owens show. If you want to come out, invitation's still open. I haven't heard from you, but I'll be out there.
I don't think I saw that part, though.
Aleister Black comes out for the KO show, gets interviewed. It doesn't matter. All that matters here is Aleister Black turns heel on Kevin Owens, hits him with a back elbow and a black mass. And I am here for heel Aleister Black on the main roster. Thank God they're finally doing something decent with him.
Yeah.
I'm all for Aleister Black versus Kevin Owens. That'll be a dope feud and a fun set of matches. So do it up. Do you see Tozawa?
Nope.
In the Fatal 4-Way for the no. Did you see Randy Orton's promo?
Yes.
And here's where everything goes off the rails. So we got a few things to discuss before you may or may not go on your rant, Travis. One, it has been talked about in our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Smackin Raw, and I've heard from other sources that there is a legal dispute with the CFOs as far as music rights go and royalties go for the music that WWE has made, which is why when Keith Lee came out in this segment, his music started to play and then cut off and generic guitars played, and we did not get Keith Lee's music. I have also heard that Keith Lee will have new music for Payback this Sunday, a new official theme. Keith Lee also, well, that's in the match later, so we'll talk about that later. But I was going to go on a rant. I was going to flip out about Keith Lee and all the changes they made and all these things. But to his credit, Mr. Lee went on Twitter and in a calm and assertive and reassuring manner told all of his fans, listen, be happy that I made my debut against Randy Orton. Don't worry about the music that's out of my hands. I'll get it straightened out. Don't worry about my ring attire. I'll take care of it. Let me handle that stuff. You guys just keep supporting me. And I have to say, it makes me want to support the man more. Like, that is some dope, it's my shit. It's on me. Let me deal with it. Don't worry about it. Let me handle my shit. When we get worried about people, the way they did Kofi and all that, they don't come out on social media and say, hey, I got this. Don't worry. He came out and said, listen, I got this. Don't worry, which shows me that he has enough confidence in himself that if they try to Dusty Rhodes him with the polka dots, he's going to shine through. He's not going to let them hold him down, is the way he came off. So I'm all for that.
That's all well and good, sir.
Okay.
It's all well and good. But God damn it. First of all,
You gonna put the crown on, or is this?
I don't even know where the crown is right now. I don't care. I'm watching Raw, minding my black ass business as I always do. Randy Orton is cutting his promo in the ring, and then it hits Old Bask in his glory. Let me tell you how fucking hype I got when I heard that shit. I'm like, oh, am I getting Keith Lee confronting Randy Orton off the bat? Fuck yeah. And then right afterwards, they just pull the rug out from underneath me with this generic ass rock shit that I've never heard in my life. Listen, we've talked about this before. I have gone on this podcast before about how much I love Keith Lee's music, how it fits him so perfectly, how it's such a good part of who his character is. And they took that away. And I'm like, yeah, okay, there was some issue with the rights with the music and all that. Well, WWE, fuck you, do better. Because honestly, as meticulous as you are about owning everything that you use and how you have to make sure that you have the rights to everything because you've had problems like this before in the past, how do you let this happen? Oversight and you don't care enough. That's how. So do fucking better.
And there's a lot of people's music that the CFOs are involved in. I believe Sasha's music, Undisputed Era. Like there's a lot of current themes on the main roster and in NXT.
Well, I think Sasha's is different because hers has Snoop now, right?
Yeah, but there might be a part of it. I think they did her original theme, so that part of it might be an issue.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't know if they might have produced the beat and Snoop sang on it.
Possibly. Anyway, back to Keith Lee. And then you got him out here wrestling in the goddamn shirt and some loose ass short because his dick is too big, I guess. And honestly, what the fuck? Who cares? People have dicks.
We're not quite there yet. So Keith Lee introduces himself. He says, some people call me this, some people call me that, but I'm limitless.
Wait,
Lee.
I'm not done.
Okay.
So then he gets in the ring. He cuts a hell of a promo. I enjoyed that promo. But listen. If I didn't have to do this podcast this week, when that music hit, I would have cut this shit off. I wouldn't watch anything else the rest of the week. I swear to God. Like, listen, man, is this what y'all go through when your favorites get called up every time? How do you live with this? I did not want to watch any more wrestling for the rest of the week, Matthew.
Travis, listen, I really am upset that I like Keith Lee because I wish I didn't like Keith Lee as much as I did, so you could know how I felt when I saw Aleister Black get called up with Ricochet.
Here's the thing. I think I understand now.
Yeah, but
why I don't understand how you kept watching.
I can't sit back and enjoy the way you enjoyed when I suffered because I'm also suffering with you. That's my point.
I hear you.
You may now understand my point of view, but I also suffered with you. I couldn't just sit back and enjoy your pain like you've enjoyed my pain time and time again. And that's why I'm even more upset.
Even then, I don't think you'd be able to enjoy my pain the way I did because you're not as evil as I am. But it's just, I was so pissed. I was so pissed. Like, I was ready to just not watch anything else the rest of the week. But because we had to do this show, I went ahead and did it, which I'm glad I did because the match was actually good. But anyway, go ahead. Keep going.
So Keith Lee challenges Randy Orton to a match, and Randy says, not right now. And then they make the match for later. Did you see the stuff backstage with Charlie and Zelina and Angel Garza?
Yeah.
So Charlie's basically saying, hey, we saw the video. It looks like you did poison Montez Ford. Why are you still denying it? Like, what's going on? And she's like, that video didn't show anything, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And motherfucking Angel Garza is a snitch and a bitch. This man gets on the mic and says, clearly she got caught doing something. We've all been caught. And Zelina's like, whoa. Hey. I didn't get caught doing anything because I didn't do anything. Angel then invites both Demi and Charlie out for his match. Demi being the chick from The Bachelor. And they both kind of look at each other. Charlie does not look happy about this whatsoever, but Demi's like, fuck it, and follows Angel. Then we got Montez Ford versus Garza. Montez Ford wins that match.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got another text about Chadwick. That's why I'm like, okay.
Then we got, did you see the Riot Squad versus the Iconics?
No.
Ooh, you're not going to be happy about that. Did you see MVP? Backstage with Cedric Alexander and Ricochet.
No.
Did you see Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley in the arm wrestling contest?
Yes.
So Apollo beats Bobby in an arm wrestling contest by stepping on Bobby Lashley's foot.
Yeah.
And then the Hurt Business runs down and Apollo escapes untouched again because they're not really trying to catch him for some reason. Mark Henry moderated this arm wrestling contest. I don't understand.
I knew there had to be some kind of shenanigans because there's no way in hell that Apollo Crews would ever beat Bobby Lashley in an arm wrestling contest. But go ahead.
I just don't understand why out on TV in the ring we keep making Bobby Lashley and MVP and Shelton Benjamin look like idiots. And then we send them to Raw Underground and have them do what they should be doing out in the ring every week.
Because that would make too much sense.
And we'll get to Raw Underground later. Did you see Rey Mysterio?
Yes.
Really long promo about Dominic?
Yeah.
Was there was a match later with Seth and Buddy. That was the end. Did you see Natalya and Lana?
No.
Did you see? So, okay, I know you saw it. Keith Lee and Randy Orton have a match. It is a no contest because Drew McIntyre came down and attacked Randy Orton. Keith Lee made it clear also on social media he was not disqualified. He did not lose. It was a no contest. It goes to a draw with Drew attacking Randy. Randy then gives
Hell of
Drew
a
his-
match before that.
Yes, it was a hell of a match. Randy gives Drew his third punt backstage, sending him to the hospital with a possible fractured skull. And as the ambulance is driving away, we get an interview with Keith Lee where Keith Lee talks about how Drew is his friend and Drew will be okay. But come Sunday at Payback, Randy won't be okay.
Can he have his beard back too? Because that bothers me.
Who?
Keith Lee. Yeah.
So this is where we saw what people referred to his shorts as a skort, and that they put him in a sleeveless zip-up shirt because apparently they were not okay with him being shirtless at the size that he is at, is my only guess. Vince doesn't like... I mean, he's fine with Otis doing it, but... I'm curious as to see the presentation for Keith Lee come Sunday.
We'll see. I was not pleased. I know he said to chill. And, you know, I don't blame him one bit.
I don't blame him either. But I'm going to respect his wishes. If the man said, let me handle it, I'm going to let him handle it, and let's see where they go.
Oh, he can handle it. It doesn't stop me from being pissed about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Then we had the Hurt Business on Raw Underground, basically beating everyone up. I don't like this version of Raw Underground, Travis, because they've got bright lights in the back and everything. The appeal to me of Raw Underground was the dim lighting, the seedy underground Fight
It
Club
feel
look
like
that they
actually
had.
underground. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you got all these bright lights. Everything's illuminated. It's clearly a ring. It doesn't have that same aesthetic. You took away my dancing women. Now you took away my aesthetic, and I'm not feeling this version of Raw Underground.
Well, you know, I wasn't feeling it from the beginning, so it's
Yeah.
fine. It's whatever.
You see Sasha Banks versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title in a lumberjack match.
Yeah. I saw this.
Are you not okay with this?
It was one of those, whatever. I know where this is going, so just do it.
Asuka wins the Raw Women's title back, or no, defends the
Defends
Raw
it.
Women's title
Yeah, keeps it. Yeah.
against Sasha because Sasha can't successfully defend a championship other than the tag team titles.
Yeah.
They called it a lumberjack match, but the lumberjacks weren't doing their job. They weren't throwing people back in the ring.
Yeah. This is one of those things I heard about ahead of time that the lumberjacks weren't doing what lumberjacks are supposed to do. So it was just, I expected it, so it didn't surprise me.
Yeah. Banks loses to Asuka. We had a great match on Sunday, and then this was ugh.
Yeah. As you can see, I'd rather not talk about it at all. But it's just
Rey Mysterio, or the Mysterios, Rey Mysterio and Dominic, take on Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy in a tag team match that ends with an attack from Retribution. The Mysterios get fucked up as Seth and Buddy go safely.
let me just say that I love how quick Seth got the fuck up out of there.
So I am now curious because it doesn't look like Roman Reigns, despite the wreck everyone and leave moniker, is the leader of Retribution. But they blew right past Buddy and Seth looked down on what was happening. Obviously happy because the Mysterios are getting beaten up, but almost proud, as if maybe he's the leader of Retribution. And Retribution is a term that you hear in the Bible quite a bit. He is a religious knockoff character. So
I'd like that if that was the case. I don't think that's the case, but I'd like it if it was.
Rumors are,
of course,
that
there's rumors.
Members of Retribution that we saw at the end of the show are Dominic Dijakovic, Dio Madden, Shane Thorne, Mia Yim. Shane Thorne was part of TM61. It was an Australian tag team that was in NXT. It was also the tag team that MVP was managing before they just dropped that whole thing.
Okay. I'm glad you knew what I was asking.
I know. Mia Yim, Caden Carter, and Chelsea Green. Or at least that's a speculation that those were the 6 people on the ring, because we have had 14 different iterations of who
placeholders,
is.
so we don't know who they actually are, just who that was this past Monday.
But Reek has some kind of connection, and he tweeted out that it looks like those are the final 6.
We'll see. I don't believe anything right now. It's just I don't think they really know what they want to do with this Retribution thing right now. So
I'm gonna guess you're gonna do the same thing I'm gonna do, and you're gonna spit Monday Night Raw solely based on Keith Lee.
I am spitting it out the window, slamming the door, and never looking at it again.
So my guess is, judged by you didn't see AEW, you spit Raw,
sure did,
and you spit NXT because
I sure did.
Anything, but you swallowed SmackDown.
Yeah,
that Roman Reigns made SmackDown the best show of the week, all by him joining Paul Heyman.
See, here's the thing.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Here's the thing, people. I've told people over and over again my whole life, I am not hard to please. I'm really not. I am really not hard to please. The problem
10
is
10 seconds won the entire week.
It sure did. It doesn't take much, man. They just never do it.
I'm going to agree with you only because I cannot give NXT the pass for announcing a match for next week, which is the thing I'm most hyped for.
Yeah, maybe next week it'll be the best show of the week because of that match, but you don't get to be the best show of the week by saying you're going to have a match next week.
Exactly. Did you see any? I kind of forgot this, but did you see any of the promos that they did from the 4 guys that are going to be in the ladder match?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw all of them.
They gave you that, but no fucking Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here. All right, Travis. Best show of the week, SmackDown. You got anything you want to plug?
Not right now. What the fuck is wrong with you? Not right now.
Okay. So we got nothing to plug. Other than you guys can find Travis on Twitter and Instagram at Sir Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUSSALOTT. Oh, also, I forgot, and I'm glad I thought about this. One of the people that subscribe to our YouTube is a fan of the show that's over on our Twitter, JJ. She commented on our discussion last week about rappers and wrestlers, and she wanted to know why you jumped over Naughty by Nature and went straight to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Well, she doesn't know me. That's why.
Well, I told her, I was like, well, you know, Travis just has that weird affliction. But if I had to choose a team to represent Naughty by Nature, it would be the New Day, because clearly Xavier Woods is down with OPP.
I like that. You're right. That is definitely the case.
And it's a trio, and there are other reasons. But yeah, Naughty by Nature, The New Day.
Yeah, and not Keith Lee. Big E likes to, thrust his hips around, so he's a freak. And that song, "Freak in the Morning, Freak in the Evening" by Salt and Pepper was about Tretch from Naughty by Nature. So
There you go. So shout out to JJ. We have addressed that. I know I tweeted it out, and you already got that answer, but Travis doesn't read everything I tweet because I tweet a lot. So I wanted to include him in that conversation. You guys can find Travis on Twitter and Instagram at Sir Cussalott. That is at SIR_CUS. You guys can find Creation World, which is the brand that Smackin' It Raw podcast is under. It is the umbrella that covers all of the great things we do here, including this podcast, Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow, hashtag Them Thrones if we ever get any more knockoff series, Creation Conversations, soon to be Dungeons After Dark, and all the other great things that we bring you. You guys can find them at The Creation World. That is at TheCreatia World on Twitter and Instagram. You guys can find all of our stuff on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/groups/Smackin' It Raw, you'll get the wrestling. Facebook.com/groups/Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Get you your Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow shit, which there are some stuff that Travis, I believe, has posted in that group concerning DC's, what was it called?
DC fandom. Mars, putting it together as we speak.
Well, if you're like me, you didn't understand a goddamn word he just said. So DC Fandom.
The fandom.
So if you're interested in that, go check out Super Flash Hero of Tomorrow, and they will keep you up to date with all the news coming out of DC Fandom.
We might wait for the second part. We'll see.
They may be waiting for the second part to come out. We'll see. And then they'll do a podcast for that. And, of course, Facebook.com/Creation World, where you guys can get everything. If you guys go to at Matt Ritter on Twitter, that is at MATTRIDDER on Twitter, you guys will find the link trees for Creation World, which will get you the video versions of this podcast and all other podcasts we do over on YouTube. Please go to YouTube, like, and subscribe. That's where we want the views or the subscribers. Also, the link to Pornhub, because we are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. Travis has got the shirt on. And you guys can go to Linktree/Smackin' It Raw, and that'll get you all the places you guys can find the audio. So this is, if you're just listening to a clip, or this is the first time hearing it, you're watching the video version of it, and you want to know where you guys can download and go listen to us, that is there for you as well. I think that's and the Patreon. Linktree/Creation World will also get you the Patreon and the merch store, so you can do like D-Rod did, get yourself a Smackin' It Raw t-shirt. Do like I want you to do. Go subscribe. Check out Return to Wrestling. I think Travis and I are going to need to record a new episode here pretty soon. We'll discuss that. Other than that, Travis, I've got nothing else.
Me neither.
All right. So for my weird-ass co-host, I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Peace.